Hey, this is Kate. If you're enjoying the content on the Good Fight channel, then please do hit like and subscribe below. Thank you. So, I mean, throughout the interview, right, you've name-checked a bunch of people: Bozy, Ennis, Jaron, Ennis, Caleb Plant, the Charlo Twins. These are all people that you've worked with, right? I think that people must find that super interesting because it's kind of the privilege that you have as being who you are is that you get to kind of be integrated into these camps in a way that other people would just never get that opportunity, right? So Caleb Plant, just talk to me about that experience. What impressed you about his camp, about his abilities? What did you learn in that time? And this was relatively recently that you were with Caleb, was it?
Yeah, it was. It was relatively recent. He was training in Philly and in Vegas. So I was with Caleb twice. And obviously you don't know what to expect because you see individuals like Caleb Plant, you see him fight on TV. You're like, oh, shoot, he's slick, he's quick. But you don't understand how quick and slick he is until you're in the goddamn ring. Holy shit. And it's unbelievable. His footwork, his mechanics, just the toying with the opponent, while sparring and the toying with me and fucking me up, what was unbelievable. It was unbelievable to see. And the same thing with Boots. Like, that shit is amazing to see in person because I'm not used to seeing it. And I want what they can do so bad. But Father Time is undefeated and I will never get to that point. That is what I want so bad. I think that's what keeps me going so I can look like that. If I can, I might never look like them ever again because it's impossible. But if I can just mimic some of the stuff they do and then execute it in the ring with that same calmness and grace that they do, I think that in itself will be a fulfillment for me.
So was this Caleb during camp for the Anthony Dirrell fight?
That fight and before the Canelo fight too. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I got some licks in though.
Oh, that's interesting. So hang on. So did you notice kind of a difference in him between coming back from the Canelo loss and how he was kind of before the Canelo fight? Obviously, like one of the biggest fights you will ever have in your lifetime, right? Against Canelo. And then going into the fight against Anthony Dirrell, a lot of like personal animosity, all of that. Like, what did you live differently in those two camps?
The funny thing about it is seeing him back then and seeing him now, everything is sharp. Everything is sharp. Everything is precise. I mean, he trains hard. There's no up and down when it comes to training. He trained like a madman. Yeah, he stays ready, and he always has been. And obviously, to me, to the naked eye, anything that I see in person with boxers at the elite level, everything looks good to me. So it's hard for me to assess what's not good and what's not because, holy shit, they're doing stuff I wish I could do.
Am I right in saying this, that you've experienced him with two different coaches then? Because now he's working with Stephen Edwards, with Breadman, and prior to the Canelo fight, he had his other trainer.
Right.
Did you notice any difference in how they work and what he's doing in the gym?
Well, obviously the coaches are completely different. What they would have him doing in the gym is somewhat similar. They all have their different plan on how to execute based on the opponent that you are facing. But I don't want to get into the intricate details.
I understand you don't want to talk out of camp. I get it.
Yeah,
okay, so talk to me about his next fight though, right? Because massive fight coming up against David Benavidez. The date is announced. Right. But the fight is announced. And I think, you can look at David Benavidez and think, okay, kind of younger, bigger, stronger guy, maybe. But you look at Caleb Plant, you think about what great boxer he is, pure boxer, great boxing skill, ring IQ, great movement, always in shape, stays ready. Do you consider it a 50-50 fight, or how do you think they match up?
I think it's a 50-50 fight. I think it's a 50-50 fight. Obviously, there are two completely different skill sets, obviously, in the ring. I think Caleb will fare better when it comes to his movement and his footwork and then being able to move around and create angles and find openings. But again, Benavidez being right in your face, power puncher, he'll smother you, and those goddamn punches hurt, obviously coming from David. But I think it's going to be a good fight.
So another person that Caleb has been open about wanting to fight is Jermall Charlo, who you've also spent time with, right? Ooh. And Jermall has said that he wants to move up to 168 at some point, so they'd end up in the same division. If you're a betting man, which I think you are, if you had to bet on how that fight goes, on who wins that fight, where do you put your money?
Draw.
You can't go a draw. Come on, man. Nobody wants to see a draw.
Yeah, those are both good friends of mine, and I can't. I love them both.
You have been in the ring with both of them. Do you have any kind of
Yeah.
insight on how, like, what kind of fight you think that would be?
Charlo, the punches hurt.
Okay.
The
heaviest punches you felt is Jermall Charlo?
Yeah. That's not fair. It's not. I'm putting myself in danger because once you step in the ring with them and Caleb, Boots as well, even when they're not turning up, there's a certain switch that they can't turn off and on. Mm-hmm. There's a certain switch that they can't turn off and on. And I get in the ring and I get hit and I give the look to them as if, hey, what are you doing? It's me. It's me. And like nothing, there's no flinching. There's no mercy. There's no mercy, to the point where they gave me a better understanding. Like if my mama was to come in these ropes, she finna get that work. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. And I like that. And the fact that I'm under fire and under pressure like that, I've gotten to the point now a little bit where I can remain calm and relaxed and not running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Mm-hmm. So once I'm putting all that stuff together, all those little nuances that go into being, a boxer. I mean, people will see next time I'm in the ring, like, oh shit, this fool, he really been working.
Is there anybody of those guys, like, who did we say, that you've been in the ring with? So Caleb Plant, either of the Charlos, Jermall, Jaron, Ennis, who you feel like those hit, like the punches hit different?
Well, it's not that the punches hit different. It's the fact that you don't know where the punches are coming from.
Okay.
Which is more surprising because he changes the tempo, he changes the speed of everything. He'll be in front of you, then he'll be off to the left, then he'll be off to the right. It's kind of weird. Charlo, they right in your face, slipping. None of the tricks of the trade for that matter. But with Boots is very, very slippery, very slick. Man, great movement, man. And the way he creates space and angles, and he forces you into mistakes. It's dope to see in person, especially when he's sparring with people, smaller than him, bigger than him. It doesn't matter what it is. Caleb is the same way, I think, but Boots does it more often regardless of who's in front of him in the ring. And I happen to be a victim to that. And it was weird. It was weird. It's a feeling of hopelessness, being that I have a certain arrogance because I feel like I'm elite at one sport. I can get in another and survive. I never felt so hopeless ever before.
Dang.
It was a learning process, but it was cool.
I mean, he's special, right? 29-0, 27 knockouts. He's obviously got like real power, and he's been calling out all the biggest names in the division. He wants that smoke, right? Of those top guys in the division, who do you think he's capable of beating right now? All of them? Do you? You think he beats a Terence Crawford? You think he beats an Errol Spence?
Ooh, I think it would be great fights. I mean, I know Errol, I know Bud, I know Errol, and I think those would be great fights. See, those are the type of fights we want to see, because someone like me who doesn't have the boxing background or the boxing pedigree, obviously just watching with the naked eye, I can't be the one to say who's going to win what, because what is exciting to me and looks wowish to me, it might not be the same for someone else who is used to seeing boxers all the time and consistently, So seeing Errol spar before, he hit like a truck. He hit like a heavyweight. And then seeing Bud spar before, everything, he's just polished. Everything, he's polished. He can fight inside, he can fight outside. I mean, however you want to do it. So it's hard for me to say who would win what when they're all so great at what they do. And then it just, who makes the fewest mistakes, obviously the one who's in the best shape as well. And that's how it would be. I wouldn't want to pick any person, but I think he wants those fights, and I think those are type of fights we as boxing fans would love to see.